Story No. 1. The Babysitter's Mistake. Sarah needed money for college, so when the Dawson family offered her $200 for one night of babysitting, she said yes without thinking twice. The house was large, sitting at the end of a long dirt road surrounded by tall oak trees. Mrs. Dawson greeted her at the door with a tired smile. "The children are already in bed," Mrs. Dawson said. "Just make sure they stay there. And one more thing. Do not go into the basement. The door sticks, and you could get locked down there." Sarah nodded. Simple enough. The Dawsons left around 8. Sarah settled on the couch and turned on the television. The house was quiet. Too quiet, actually. She could hear the old walls creak and the wind pushing against the windows. Around 9:30, she heard a soft thump from upstairs. She muted the television and listened. Nothing. She figured one of the kids had rolled out of bed, so she walked up the stairs to check. She opened the first bedroom door. A little boy, around 6 years old, was sleeping peacefully. She opened the second door. A little girl, maybe 4, was tucked under her blanket. Both fine. She went back downstairs. At 10:15, she heard it again. A thump. But this time, it was not coming from upstairs. It was coming from below, from the basement. Sarah stood in the hallway and stared at the basement door. She remembered what Mrs. Dawson said. "Do not go down there." The door sticks. Another thump. Then a drag, like something heavy being pulled across a concrete floor. Sarah grabbed her phone and called Mrs. Dawson. "Mrs. Dawson? I keep hearing noises from the basement." There was a pause. A long pause. "Get the children, get out of the house. Now." Sarah's stomach dropped. "What? Why? We do not have a basement, Sarah." Sarah lowered the phone. She looked at the door at the end of the hallway. The one she had assumed led to a basement. It was open now, just a crack. And from that crack, she could see a single eye staring back at her. She did not scream. She did not breathe. She just ran. She flew up the stairs, grabbed both children, one under each arm, and sprinted out the front door into the cold night air. The police arrived 12 minutes later. They searched the house and found the door led to a crawl space beneath the stairs. Inside, they found a sleeping bag, empty food cans, and scratches on the walls. Someone had been living in that space. They never found who it was. The Dawsons moved out the next week. Sarah never babysat again. But sometimes, late at night in her own apartment, she hears a thump beneath her floor, and she tells herself it is just the pipes. She is not sure she believes that anymore. Story No. 2. Room 414. Kevin was a traveling salesman who spent most of his nights in cheap hotels along the highway. He had seen it all. Stained carpets, broken locks, strange smells. Nothing bothered him anymore. Or so he thought. One rainy night in November, he pulled into a small town called Ridgewell. The only place to stay was an old hotel called the Lenox. It looked like it had not been renovated since the 1960s. The paint was peeling. The sign buzzed and flickered. He walked inside. The lobby smelled like old cigarettes and dust. A thin man with hollow cheeks stood behind the front desk. "I need a room for the night," Kevin said. The man nodded slowly and handed him a key. Room 412. 4th floor. Elevator is broken, so you will have to take the stairs. Kevin climbed the stairs, found his room, and dropped his bag on the bed. The room was small, but clean enough. He brushed his teeth, turned off the light, and tried to sleep. At 2 a.m, he woke up to the sound of a television. It was coming from the room 2 doors down. Room 414. The volume was loud. Some kind of static, mixed with what sounded like a man talking very fast in a language Kevin could not understand. He tried to ignore it. He put the pillow over his head. But it kept going, louder and louder. Finally, at 3, he got up and walked to room 414. He knocked. The television went silent. He waited. No one answered. He knocked again. Nothing. He went back to bed and eventually fell asleep. In the morning, he went downstairs and told the man at the front desk about the noise. Room 44? The man said. Yes. Someone had their television on full volume half the night. The man stared at him. There is no room 442. The 4th floor only has 3 rooms. 410, 411, and 412. Kevin almost laughed. That is ridiculous. I stood right in front of the door. I knocked on it. The man did not blink. Go check. Kevin climbed the stairs again. He walked down the 4th floor hallway. Room 410. Room 411. Room 412. His room. There was no room 414. There was no door. Just a solid wall where he was certain a door had been the night before. He checked out immediately. As he was pulling out of the parking lot, he looked up at the 4th floor windows. 3 windows for 3 rooms. But in the reflection of his rearview mirror, just for a moment, he saw a 4th window, and someone was standing in it. He drove and did not stop for 200 miles. Months later, Kevin tried to find the Lenox Hotel online. There were no results. He searched for Ridgewell. The town existed, but according to every map and record he could find, there had never been a hotel there. He still travels for work, but he does not drive through Ridgewell anymore. And every hotel he stays in, he counts the room numbers twice before he closes his eyes. Story No. 3. The Voicemail. Emma lost her older brother Daniel in a car accident on a Tuesday evening in March. It was sudden. One phone call from the hospital changed everything. He was 28 years old. The funeral was small. The grief was not. Emma could not bring herself to delete Daniel's number from her phone. She would scroll past it sometimes and feel her chest tighten. One night, 3 weeks after the funeral, she did something she knew was pointless. She called his number. She expected it to ring and go to a generic voicemail. His phone had been destroyed in the accident, and the number should have been disconnected by now. But it rang. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then a click. And then Daniel's voice. Not a recording. Not a voicemail greeting. His actual voice, as if he were speaking in real time. Emma. She froze. Her hands began to shake. Daniel? She whispered. Silence. Then static. Then the call ended. She told herself she imagined it. She told herself grief does strange things to the mind. She put the phone down and tried to sleep. The next morning she had a voicemail. It was from Daniel's number. Time stamped at 3:17 in the morning. She pressed play. At first, there was only static. Then breathing. Slow, deliberate breathing. And then Daniel's voice again. But this time, he sounded different. His voice was lower. Strained, like he was speaking through pain. Do not come looking for me. Please, stay away. The message ended. Emma called the phone company. They confirmed that Daniel's number had been deactivated the day after his death. No calls could be made from it. No voicemails could be sent. It was impossible. But the voicemail was there. On her phone. She played it for her mother. Her mother broke down crying and begged her to delete it. Emma did not. 2 nights later, another voicemail. Same number. 3:17 in the morning again. This time, the static was louder, and behind Daniel's voice, she could hear other voices. Many of them, whispering, overlapping. She could not make out what they were saying. Daniel spoke only one sentence. "They know you can hear us." Emma deleted the voicemail. She deleted Daniel's number. She called the phone company again and had her own number changed. For a while, everything was quiet. Then, one night, her new phone buzzed on the nightstand. A voicemail from an unknown number. Time stamped at 3:17 in the morning. She never played it. She will never play it. But every night at 3:17, her phone lights up. Just for a second. And she pulls the blanket over her head and prays that whatever is trying to reach her finally gives up. It has been 2 years. It has not stopped.